Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning. Got a big show lined up, but first, let's take a look at our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and hard-working crew taking care of everyday comfort needs. I was looking on the calendar, and we're in our last Friday of July. This time next week, we'll be in August. That's crazy and hard to believe. The summer's flown by. We're looking at, I don't have the river readings today, brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. We'll catch up with them. The river's in good shape. We get these summer storms, but you know how they come in really hard and strong, and then boom, they disappear. So there's not really that prolonged rain in our area. I know up north of us, we've had some strong and long rains and all this sort of flooding, and you saw that on the news, but we don't have that here. So river's in good shape still. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. That's not in good shape. We don't have any tides. We're in deep tides. Today's in 26, and tomorrow we don't have any tidal flow at all. So it's going to be pretty strong as far as not having a chance to move with the tides. The chance of catching anything at the tidal change is probably nil, because there's not going to be a tidal change. Wind direction west-southwest at 10 to 12. All right, let's do our fishing game times in this segment right here. Looking at from Blue Water Outriggers, 4:07 to 6:07 this morning. This evening, 4:31 to 6:31. And our, like I said, the water temperature at the end of the pier, high today is 89, low 78, but water temperature at the end of the pier is right there at 88. So it's been pretty steady for a couple of weeks now. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I've got all kinds of things to share with you, but I got a couple of pictures I want to show. Came in earlier part of the week, and I want to show them first. This is Matt Smith, and I talked about this before. I seldom complain about this. I talked about black-tip sharks last week. His tips. I seldom complain about stormy weather, especially in July. Cloud cover, breeze, and pressure change usually make the big fish chew. We've talked about that. Remember, after the storm comes through. Keep your distance and a bait in the water. And he's talking about just getting away from the storms. It's one of his clients here. The storm would come through and he caught that right after the storm, and they released that big one. Mandy posted this. Mandy Miller Warren. Here's how cute is this. On the left is me and my dad. On the right is my daughter Riley with my dad. So look, 1997. That's Mike Miller and Mandy, and then 2024, that's Mike Miller with his granddaughter, Riley. And that's great. I told Mandy that's a framer right there. Real quick, we'll talk about this later on, the fishing report. Fishing off the downtown marina. This is St. Andrew Marina, but look at there. Very nice. Benjamin, my 11-year-old grandson, scored at St. Andrew today. So all kind of cool things going on. Then one more quick one on freshwater. Chris Carroll. Cody and I went back to the river this morning. Nice morning, and the weather ran out about 11:30. Caught that off the Choctawhatchee River. Good fishing, the Carroll family there. So, one more. I get these Facebook flashbacks 5 years ago this week. J.J. Blade, who now is playing for Oakland. He was one of the top round draft choices, played at Vanderbilt. He came on the show. He was one of the students there. Doing really good. Jeff just looked up he's got 11 home runs on his stats and 32 RBIs, and went 3 for 4 last night. So that was 5 years ago this week. J.J. Blade, a guest on the show. And one more real quick. Norman Thibodeau. This was swimming around the pier. The Thibodeau family, like generation after generation, are great fishermen, and they go out a lot. This was a huge tiger shark around the pier yesterday morning. In fact, I blew it up. Folks, that is a big shark. When Norman Thibodeau sends me a picture, I mean, that's some real stuff right there. And I wanted to share that with you. Okay, so Okay, that takes care of some pictures of some local stuff going on. What I want to get into next ICAST. I haven't been to ICAST in several years, and just haven't had things have come up. So I really want to go this year, and I've always wanted to take my grandson Mason, and this year, all the stars lined up. We were able to go, and we just had a grand time. Just Mason and I, a 6-hour trip to Orlando, and spent 2 days there, and got back late, and we just had a wonderful time. Came back by Gainesville and saw some places there. We wanted to see some things in Gainesville, but we had at ICAST, we ran into some. Well, okay, ICAST stands for International Consortium of Associated Sporting Trades, and that's where it comes from. And you know the folks we had on from American Sportfish Association, they put it on. So we were all excited about going down there. It did not disappoint. I mean, Mason's eyes were just this wide, and he wanted to. We met, saw some celebrities and all, and I've got a whole group of pictures, and I'm going to show you. But first, before we get to that, well, Lisa Fitzgerald was there. Fred, got to see Fred and Carter, and all kind of. But I'll show you the picture. Here we are. When we first go in, right here. When we first go in ICAST and signed up, and it is just wall to wall people, and it's not just fishing. It's clothing. It's anything related to outdoor stuff right there. And what's the first guy we run into? How about Bill Dance? And it was so funny because he was talking to some people, and I got a picture taken with him. That's his, back here in the back, that's his daughter, on the right hand side, that's his daughter, and she sort of moves him and gets him moving one place to another. So, and we talked a long time. Well, it was funny, when we walked up, Mason and I was being respectful and stayed away, and he was talking to some people. Then he turned around to us and said, "Hey, can I get my picture taken with y'all?" Because he knew that's what we were going to ask him. And he said he remembered me, but he sees so many people. I've seen him there before, but Mason was just in awe of getting to meet Bill Dance. And such a nice, classy guy. So we're going to take a break. I'm going to come back and show you some pictures of our trip where we just got back from. So we'll be right back. Okay, I wanted to just share these pictures with you. We have some video. We took a lot of video, and we're going next week. We'll show segments of the video with the interviews we did with different people. It's just I know how much y'all enjoy seeing some of the new inventions and the products and the people. And the people, like I said, were so nice. But I took quite a few pictures with my phone, just show you some still shots of different things. So I want to do that in this little segment right here, and then we'll come up with a Friday fishing report. But I'm going to go through it fairly. Okay, before we get to this one, there's a company I ran into before when I first was going down there. The company's called Mason Fishing Company, and they're out of Michigan. And they've been around since 1934. I remember taking a picture of it and sending it to Mason, and back when he was in school. So it was one of the first places we found was a Mason booth right here. And and the folks were so nice to him, and but they do a lot of fishing lines and different things like that. So he sent that to his buddies, and guess who else? Next guy we saw, Jimmy Houston, nice guy. Spent some good time with him. And then what about this? How about Roland Martin and Jimmy Houston? Listen, Roland was interviewing Jimmy Houston on a turkey call, and he was getting a kick out of it. Jimmy Houston was, everybody, okay, look. He's talking about they turkey hunted together. Now we're looking at two legends in the outdoors, and look at that little camera he's got. And of course, Roland Martin has got that place in Clewiston off Lake Okeechobee, and he was really nice to her. And then he was nice enough to get our picture taken, and just good folks. And this next guy, this is at the Coaster Sunglass booth. And Mason's playing a lot of music now for people, and he was fascinated. And the guy's really good, so everybody just stops and listens to the guy. I want to show you what's unique about it. Is the guy's playing with his feet. Let's see. Look at his feet down there. And he was multi-talented, literally. He was playing the guitar, he was singing good, and playing the bass and all with his feet. And people were just stopping by and looking at him. And I know that's not outdoor stuff, but it's just entertaining. And we got everybody, okay, so everybody's taking pictures of him. This is at the Coaster Sunglass place. And I want to show you this because this is what young people do. Mason took all that stuff and they instantly put it on Instagram and sent it to all his buddies and all. So that's what young people do. So anyway, real nice. And he got to talk. He showed Mason how the beat, the beat he was doing with his left hand, right hand, and feet. And really cool stuff. Okay, moving on to some other guys that he got to meet. Just outdoorsmen. The people at Mason gave him a cap. He came back. They didn't have any cap. They weren't selling anything, but they had that on display. They gave it to him. You notice he's got my shirt on. Yeah. Okay. And I guess who else? Lisa Fitzgerald was so nice. She saw us and waved at us, and we went over there and got a picture taken. There's a group of people she's with the CCA. And she got to meet and talk to Mason, and see that behind them there. That's a trailer, and the convention center. You just bring your trailers in there, and set up your booth. And they were giving away some 5-gallon buckets, CCA, and they'd given them out. They'd already given them all away. And I asked her if they had any, and she actually climbed up in that trailer up to your left right here. She climbed up in the back doors of the trailer and got Mason and I a 5-gallon bucket with CCA. That's the kind of person she is. So really neat meeting her and seeing her again. And just different. This was South Carolina fisheries. Well, I was going to interview some of them, but we have the FWC there. I give them a lot of coverage, but South Carolina folks came down because that's a big outdoor state too. Really nice. That whole wall full of stuff, and this was they'd just done a little presentation. This is one of the coolest things, folks. Vending machine, a cap vending machine. We put your QR. Mason asked this guy right here in the yellow shirt in a wheelchair, "What's going on?" And the guy said, "To give away, you get a free cap." So we go get in line, and we got a free cap. That's that vending machine. You put your QR code and pick out your cap, and the Flex Fit company. This is their 50th anniversary or something. I did an interview with them. We'll talk about them later on the interview. But it's really cool. This is what I mentioned. This is Mason and the lady talking. This is Jordan Millette. She's from Mobile, Alabama, but they were doing some kind of fraternity, sorority, something. But anyway, here, this is Jay McGinnis from South Carolina, and of course Jordan, and this is a new product, and you can see in the top right-hand corner, it's a rod holder, and Jay invented it. And what was cool, he invented it by coming down here fishing at Destin, Florida. And he was here, and he's got a story. This interview's coming up, and you put your rod, okay, see how the rod on the right-hand side, you put that strap, look on the left-hand side, you strap it over you and put your rod and reels in it. And he'd come down here real quick, I'll tell you what happened. We spent some good quality time with both of them. And that's a new product, and I voted for them as, in my opinion and Mason's opinion, that's the best new product, and there was a bunch of them. But he said they'd come down here to a fishing trip in Destin with his brother, his brother's wife, and the kids, and he said, we unloaded stuff and got rod and reels all tangled up and everything. He started thinking about it. So on the interview next week, you'll see how he invented that. And I love outdoor inventions, and it's just really cool stuff. So and it was so. In fact, Jordan is actually from Mississippi, and she invited, she and Mason got to know each other, and we got to know. She invited us to go hunting. She said, "I'm gonna get my granddaddy to invite you. They've got several hundred acres in Mississippi, big deer, and she's a big hunter. I know look at her. She don't look like a hunter right here, but she's a big hunter. So we've been invited. You never know what's gonna happen on these trips. So you see the picture there with her. We've been invited to October to go to Mississippi and go on a hunt. I've got a bunch more pictures, but I want to end on this picture right here. There's one guy that Mason wanted to meet. Okay, Scott Martin, who was Roland Martin's son, and he wanted all the way down there. I said, I just want one person I want to meet is Scott Martin, and reason being, when he lived up there in Franklin, they lived in Tupelo. Remember, they lived on a lake, and I showed you pictures of him fishing in the backyard. we actually learned so much bass fishing by watching this guy right here, by watching Scott Martin. And Mason went up to him and just shook his hand and just wanted to, and he said, Mason was so gracious and said, I want to thank you for all the things you put out. He told him it was a testimonial to him and Mason learning really how to bass fish from all the things. And Mason had 2 years of intense bass fishing thanks to him. And also his daughter was there, who's on the bass fishing team in Alabama. And I could go on and on at connections. And one thing that just comes out at you, how nice everybody was. And it was just a class act. Well, and I'll wrap it up right here. We're leaving right here. Up big, ugly. You can see how big the place is. And ICAST 2024, and we just had an amazing time. I've got all kinds of other stuff to share with you and some products to show you, but we need to get going on our fishing report. But before we do that, let's do. It was just I can't get over and telling you what a special trip my grandson and I had doing that, and it's all related to outdoors. So I want to encourage you to do those kind of things with your friends and kids and all grandkids. All right, let's get back to Trapper Dock Seafood, $50 giveaway. We're looking at, that's going over here to Parker, to Beverly Taylor, $20 giveaway. And the big red snapper, and folks are catching a bunch of them, is going up to Fountain to Stephanie Pike, Parker and Fountain. All right, we're going to get set up. I've got a good fishing report, so we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back and welcome to our famous Friday fishing forecast, brought to us every Friday morning by Jessica Ling Insurance and Financial Group and Hammer Down Roofing and Construction with Matt Andrews. Two fine folks there and two good locally owned businesses. So check with them. And I get so much feedback we all are doing business with our sponsors. That means a lot to us. That's what keeps us on the air. All right, first thing I want to talk about is just the I want to say one more time, I wrote here at the bottom what good people there were at ICAST and how the outdoors brings together a bunch of good people. What I put in though was that picture you just saw earlier on the city marina, fishing off these marinas. You know, we all have them, but here, I'll pull it up right here. This was the St. Andrew Marina, and we don't really, okay, right here, pull it up right here. This is St. Andrew Marina, and, oops. You fish this wall right here, that's deep water right there. So I want to recommend that, and also going down to the city marina, the old city marina, okay, fishing off there. And what a great place. I mean, again, that's deep water. Catch all kind of Spanish, but they were catching what Benjamin called was a nice mangrove snapper. And then they're pretty prevalent as far as doing things over there. Also, I wrote down flounder gigging is good this summer. It's been a good year of flounder gigging, especially the last week or two. And everybody's talking about the early morning bite. You really want to get out early in the morning if it's not storming, but the early morning top water has been good in all of our bay systems. It's really been good. The offshore, again, I talked about snapper, how steady it is coming, you know, a lot of them being caught out of Apalachicola, and of course here locally, we know a bunch of them are there. So also, let's see, wrote down freshwater, fly fishing it's been on fire. Willow trees, Jerry Forehand sent me a picture, I didn't get a chance to show it, but he and his wife caught some really nice fish off the Apalachicola River system, fishing under a willow tree. And we talked about the willow tree before, how it's just spontaneous hatches of flies, and if you sort of got to be there. And by the time you get somebody calling you and say, hey, the 24-hour cycle is over with, so you got to be there to do that. Getting over here to the intercoastal, I've got a good report from the intercoastal between the Choctawhatchee River, right here on the intercoastal. I've heard live bait now. When you fish intercoastal, you want to fish live bait and try to and sort out that shrimp or little menhaden up there. Just go up there close to it. The Choctawhatchee Bay system has been good. Okay, right here, the bridge fishing has been decent all summer. It's been pretty busy and all. Getting back to freshwater, I wrote down flounder gigging in saltwater and frog gigging in freshwater. This is a great time of the year to go frog gigging. The rain brings them out, and then the rain cools down and cools everything down. They come out and just a croaking. If you haven't had, just getting out there in these little feeder creeks and all, and gigging these frogs is just an experience and all. The pier and bridge, I wrote down pier and bridge. The pier fishing has been steady. Norman, you saw that big old shark, big old huge tiger shark, and when they come through, these things going to slow down. Things going to stop. So be aware of what's going on all of our piers. Wade fishing has been okay. Again, you want to be careful. Well, one thing when I saw the tiger shark, I thought about one thing about people catching these tarpon, huge tarpon, and jumping in the water to get your picture taken. Well, I've talked about it 2 or 3 times this summer, maybe 3 or 4 times this summer. But when I saw the tiger shark at the pier, and people are jumping in the water not too far from there, chest deep water, and that's about where a tiger shark is. So there's evidence right there, and that's just from one picture. Evidence right there of what's going on as far as sharks being around. And then the tiger sharks, they don't have a good disposition, as old timers would say. I'll start wrapping things up. Next week, got some good shows coming on. Got some good guests coming, and we'll also Gail will put together some video of some of these interviews from ICAST. So had a great time this week. Thank you for all the support you have. Do something good for someone else today. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.